Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Monday, March 21st, 2022. Let's set the stage right now. I love doing this part. All right, so we got stock futures right now slightly lower. 10-year yield 2.28, okay, not too bad. The Dixie, the relative strength of the dollar, is slightly higher. Crude oil is surging up by over 4% right now. WTI crude over $109 a barrel. Keep your eyes on this stuff. Keep your eyes on crude. As a matter of fact, keep your eyes on energy prices across the board. You sincerely need to get some kind of an oil and gas producer in your portfolio. If you go to my website, traderschoice.net right now, there are several up there, ticker symbols. Pay attention to these things. You need to look at commodities overall. You need some exposure there as well. Look at ticker PDBC. Again, this is on my website, traderschoice.net. This morning, the talk is yet again energy crisis, crude oil shortages. I mean, they're laying the groundwork, people, and I believe sincerely that we are going to see a lot more of that moving forward. So again, what do you think is going to happen here to, the price of energy? It's going out of control. Food prices are soaring, I think, higher than most people expected. But I'm telling you right here and right now, I'm laughing, but people haven't seen anything yet. There's definitely going to be this shock and awe that is coming down the pike with regard to food prices and energy prices. And I want all of you to be prepared for that. I mean, not only do we have this issue of the war, which is expanding, and not only that, it's being prolonged, just as you and I realize that it would here. And they're talking about more supply chain disruptions, all kinds of stuff. Look, this is so much bigger than they're letting people know about. Again, it's all a scheme to take out an entire class of people on a global scale. You all know that. And it's evolving very, very quickly all around us. All right, let's look back over at the market. So as I said, stock futures are slightly lower, 10-year yield looking good, stable. You got some strength here with regard to the Dixie, or the relative strength of the dollar. Gold and silver right now are relatively flat. Bitcoin around 41,000. All right, lovely. What's going to happen later is we're going to hear from the man or the thing himself. I'm talking about Jay Powell, Fed chair. He's going to speak on the economy. And just be willing to, I guess, if you're going to listen to this, realize that everything you're going to hear, and I mean all of it, is going to be a lie. And of course, no one will be held to account here, least of which is the Federal Reserve, the Fed chairman, any Fed president. That's it. It's just so freaking twisted. And I think you are all well aware of that. All right, so again, that's the setup for the market. I was writing some stuff down here this morning, but I think I touched on all the important points here. What I want for you, and obviously for myself, is for us to be not fleeced. Okay, this system here is designed to destroy most people, and it's going to. I mean, look, we all know how this is going to end. It's not going to end well. However, in the interim, we need to take advantage of everything that comes at us, okay? If we understand, you and me, clearly that central banks are going to continue to inflate. I've been telling you the same story for years, and I've nailed it to the wall with all of you. And we haven't seen anything yet. Yesterday, if you have not seen my Markets a Look Ahead video from yesterday, I would strongly recommend you watch it. I laid out a case of, it should make sense to everyone who listens to it, how the Federal Reserve, despite raising rates, or the federal funds rate, 0.25%, they're deliberately creating inflation and going out of their way to do it, along with other world central banks. Understanding that mechanism gives you and I enormous power, at least to understand what we need to do. How many times have I told you that it's literally an environment of every man and every woman for himself, although we do need to love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. We need to get together with like-minded people. That's why I have the chat room on my website, traderschoice.net. That's why I want you to comment here on this blog, interact with people here, understand what's going on here. It's a grand fleecing on an epic scale as global debt continues to rage and surge out of control by design. And you know what this is all about. Central banks are literally in a race to the bottom. They're trying to destroy their currency to obviously introduce some kind of a new system. And we are well on our way to that. But again, how are they going to bring about the new system? Via another crisis. You can rest assured that crisis to crisis to crisis is going to be implemented, and more cash is going to be thrown at every single one of these crises like you can't possibly imagine. And what does that mean? More inflation. There's no end in sight. Now, with regard to the market, understanding that central banks are going to continue to inflate and dilute their currency and destroy it while they're taking out an entire class of people, I'm referring to the middle class, the stock market's going higher. The stock market is probably going much, much higher, more so than I think most people can believe. As the currency dies overall, as they bring us another crisis, energy crisis, food crisis, shortages, and everything else. And who knows? Look, I can promise you that they have things in store for everyone, including you and me, that we probably can't even dream about yet. I've told you the same story for years. They're going to do things that we can't even imagine to keep the debt-based economic model moving forward, to create reasons out of thin air, situations like wars or whatever else, other crises, diseases, whatever they have to spread. They will kill millions of people just to keep the system going. The debt-based economic model, which is the greatest threat to human life on the planet Earth. And again, they're going to keep it going via the crisis-to-crisis mechanism. Imagine if we can get rid of central banks, if we could get rid of the debt-based economic model. No one talks about this. It's astonishing to me that you will never, ever hear a peep about this from any of the mainstream financial channels, nor a supposed world leader, Bidenstein, Putinstein, that's another name. They're both Steins. You understand? They're Frankenstein puppets. Every single world leader is nothing but a puppet. And they're put there so people have some kind of figurehead that they can bow down to. And the whole political system is just a charade. It's a theater. Nothing is what it seems to be. We have a one world government, people. You all know that. If you follow this blog, everything else is just crap. And it's a way that they're leading people to the biggest slaughter ever. And that is going to be the debt market meltdown. And that's going to change the financial landscape of the world when that happens. But for now, understanding that the debt market is the driver of everything, you and I clearly know what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. We're going to bet against the debt, become our own central bank. Let them play their games with precious metals. I'm talking about the big banks, none more so than JP Morgan. They're going to rig the derivative to pull the hard asset around. Good, let them do that. Because if we understand that I'm telling you, believe me on this, that global debt is going to double very quickly from where we are now. It's going to accelerate. It must. Again, the mechanism demands that more cash be borrowed into existence in greater and greater amounts just to sustain the current environment. If we don't do that, we implode. And we are going to reach a moment of implosion. But it's not going to start in the stock market, where a lot of people are asking you to look at or telling you to look at. No, it's the debt market which is the freaking key. The key. You understand? All right, look, I'm out here. In summary, we got a stock market with futures slightly lower, stable 10-year yield, a dollar slightly higher, crude oil surging higher. Haven't seen anything yet. Commodities are going to rip higher moving forward, people. So you need some exposure. Again, go to my website, traderschoice.net. Look at Gregory Mannarino's stock picks. There's ticker symbols there for you. Take advantage of these things, okay? Take advantage of everything on my website. It's all free for you, including that chat room. And that's it, people. Look, I got your back. You got mine. We're in this together. And I think that's pretty clear. So we will sum this up at the end of the day. We're going to listen to whatever comes out of the mouth of the Federal Reserve today, and the lies and the propaganda and the distractions and misinformation. It's always the same thing. It's never going to stop. And again, nobody will hold the Federal Reserve to account. It just won't happen. I'm out of here. See you at the end of the day.